Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. Tonight, very exciting show as well, and my old twin brother, actually, is what we used to call each other, the legislature, in the 27th and 28th, Bob. It's been always a pleasure to have served with you and always to talk to you. The Bill 491, Bucks for Buses, right? You wrote actually testimony on it, and as much as I liked it, you offended the speaker in writing the testimony. So I don't know if it was read because, or is put into legislative record because of the offensive language that you used for your testimony.
Well, one of the senators asked that my testimony be put into the record, and then Speaker Wanpat did tell us that she took offense at the point that it was made in the testimony. So I don't know if it'll go into the record or not. And then I'm really curious about whether or not her being offended will go into the record.
Well, I mean, she made it public and it was recorded, then it should be public record.
That she was offended.
Yeah. I was looking, it's ironic because I was looking and you and I, we used to serve, and there are times when session will coincide with public hearings. Yes. And basically normally we cancel public hearings based on the importance of the session.
True.
But normally sessions are not, public hearings are not canceled because of the importance of that bill. So a lot of times we take a break on that session.
That's right.
So the people of Guam can see and listen to the testimony on a particular bill. And I was doing the channel search, of course, and I'm going, this is the time of the public hearing, and I'm going, no, it's not being shown in the legislative channel. So I know session was on, and I know the budget was being discussed, and definitely an important thing, but also this is a very important component that if, again, could be a part of the budget bill, and actually you can ask to break from the committee of the whole for the purposes of voting on this particular bill, the Bucks for Buses.
That's true. Right?
Yeah, that can be done.
It's had a public hearing. People have testified. Committee report would be nice, but it's not mandatory. Certainly a salutary idea. It's a great idea.
Anyway, your testimony basically on what Senator Respicio's interpretation of this and to keeping this I guess no, you can't say a raise, a salary adjustment as they called it in place. Give us again the layman's term of the legal jargon.
My interpretation, which I advanced on Senator Respicio way back when we first discovered that the salary adjustment had been made, several months after it happened, discover it, is that the legislature's salary was set at $40,000 for 7 months. Before it was cut back to $40,000 a month, it was $55,308. When the cut down to $40,000 expired 7 months later, it went back to $55,308.
We were serving when we went through the 7 month of rollback.
That's right. That's right. And the key reason here is that the senator's salaries were set by a complicated interlacing of statutory interplay, I guess, that referenced a paper from the Civil Service Commission. And I attached that paper to my testimony that set senators' salaries at $55,308. That's why we were drawing $55,308 up until the beginning of, into the beginning of the 27th legislature. And that had been in place since 1990 something, that salary, right? So the bill that reduced the salaries referenced judges' salaries and said that senatorial salaries should be 50% of judges' salaries. But when the cut expired, then the reference to judges' salaries was no longer applicable. It was only applicable for those 7 months.
For the 7 months, yeah. Okay. So when they went back, now they're still going back to the old law, which is null and void already.
Well,
the application for that 7 months.
Yes, the keying of senators' salaries to judicial salaries expired at the same time that the cut expired, because that was just to even if you look at the statute uses the word computed. Salaries shall be computed in accordance with judges' salaries. So judges were making $100,000 at that time. We took an 80%, the bill said 80%, so we went from 50 down to 40. I mean, we went down to $40,000 from 55,308 down to 40 because judges were making 100,000, took us down to 40,000.
Sure. Yeah. Bob, the other component of that too is that you know as well as I do, and when we were the majority, when the Republicans were majority, we eliminated the payout or the cash out of the annual leaves.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think we went one term without the cash out on that. We eliminated that. That was brought back when again we lost the majority. It was brought back. So again there. You can explain it better than me. I mean, the genesis of that basically is there is no mechanism to use annual leave.
Yeah, it's really an interesting phenomenon because if you are a senator, you can be sworn in and you can stay home and watch TV for 2 years, and if you're not reelected, that's the penalty.
But you'll still get your annual leave.
But you'll still get your annual leave at the end. Yeah,
yeah.
That's right. Because there isn't any requirement that if a senator doesn't want to go to session, he doesn't have to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got an awakening of that, but I would tell you about that when we come back from the break.
Sure.
Quick break and back with former Senator Bob Klitzkie. We'll be right back.